Hello, I'm Leonard Nimoy. In 1940, the world watched anxiously as Hitler seized one European nation after another. Meanwhile, the first antibiotics were developed, saving millions of lives in years to come. Also in 1940, the aerosol spray was patented, later used for everything from hairspray to paint spray. In lighter news, Americans were humming the hit song, "You Are My Sunshine," and they were paying 8 cents for a pound of bread. In sports, Southern Cal beat Tennessee in the Rose Bowl. But there's much more ahead in this 1940 episode of Our 20th Century.
1940, a year of terror and misery for millions in Europe and elsewhere. Spring saw Norway and Denmark added to the Nazi realm of conquered peoples as the war suddenly flared into action. The Battle of Narvik proved again the valor of the British Navy. The British later withdrew from Narvik and all other bases along the far north coast, leaving little Norway under the iron heel of the Germans. On the fateful 10th of May, Germany unleashed her minions in all-out war, a new type of warfare, whole companies and battalions of death from the skies pouring down on Holland and Belgium without cause, wholesale bombings of cities and innocent civilians without mercy. The Low Countries and northern France reduced to a shambles, and their people turned into terror-stricken refugees, innocents crucified in the new Nazi blitzkrieg of total war. The Nazi threat against England gathered force during the summer. Bombing raids on British convoys and Channel coastal points became more daring. Showers of bombs dogged every freighter or naval craft plying Britain's eastern waters, but few of them reached their mark. The British Air Force gave a good account of itself, and many a Nazi bomber came to grief when a Spitfire got on its tail. Later in the summer, though, the Nazis bombed London and other cities. Since then, by day and by night, Britain has suffered untold destruction and loss of life from German air raids. The British people, from their sovereigns on down, bear their losses stoically, hopeful of the day when Britain can gain control of the air. The recent complete air raid destruction of Coventry marked the beginning of a new and more terrible phase in German raiding technique. With the prospect of more aid from abroad, however, Britain carries on. 50 overage American destroyers were released to Britain in exchange for bases in this hemisphere to help fight the increased tempo of U-boat and bombing plane attacks on British shipping. The U.S. also stepped up the flow of planes to England. President Franklin D. Roosevelt signs America's first peacetime draft, an epical step in our national defense. Secretary of War Stimson drew the first capsule that started the wheels rolling to provide the U.S. with an army of 2 million men. Also, a $5 billion rearmament program to build warplanes, tanks, guns, and warships. America's answer to threats of aggression from abroad. Back in June 1940, the Republican convention started the nation off on its traditional hysteria of the presidential election. Yes, he put up a great fight, but on Election Day, Wendell Willkie met the champ. Election night crowds forgot the war as the return swept President Roosevelt back into office. He won his third-term fight, and the election bitterness has faded from the national scene. The president soon faced demands for a speed-up of arms for Britain and the United States.
We have 2 cones, please? And I'd like a diamond change, too.
Are you saving him, Mickey?
I'm going to give mine to President Roosevelt.
The president?
Why, Mickey?
Yes, you see, Judy, I've got my envelope made out right here. It's all ready to go. See for yourself.
Oh, I know. That's a March of Dimes, the Infantile Paralysis Fund.
That's right. And, Judy, when I spend a dime on myself for some little luxury like this, I always think about those unfortunate kids and how far just a dime will go toward helping.
Gee, Mickey, we don't know how lucky we are and how much we have to be thankful for with our health and our happiness.
Judy, and that's why we should do all that we can to help all of those who can't help themselves.
I know. Can I put a dime in your envelope?
Oh, you know that you can. And that's what every good American should do. Join the March of Dimes. Send yours to President Franklin Roosevelt in the White House.
Washington, D.C.
Bathing beauties hold a colorful dress rehearsal in the Hotel New Yorker for the vacation season along the southern sands this winter. These swanky rubber suits with tricky aquafluor decorations and accessories provide an interesting preview. The swimsuits have been carefully created to enhance the figure, and the seams have been scientifically designed and reinforced to prevent the possibility of ripping. After seeing how attractive rubber can be in bathing suit form, it's no wonder that nations are willing to fight over the world's rubber supply. Yes, sir, take it from me. The American crop of peaches at the beaches promises to be lovelier than ever. A record crowd of 75,000 at Santa Anita today sees racing history made by Seabiscuit. Even movie stars Clark Gable and Carole Lombard are on hand. The crowd is with Seabiscuit right from the start.
There they go to a perfect start. At the break, it's Specify going to the front. The Wedding Call is second on the rail. Whitsey is third and moving up between horses. Seabiscuit is fourth. On the outside, Don Mike is second, and Royal Crusader is going up very fast in the middle of the track, coming by the sand the first time. It's Seabiscuit in front by a head. Whitsey is second and now going to the front on the inside by a neck. Into the first turn, it's Whitsey in front by 1 length. Seabiscuit is second on the outside by a head. Specify is third. On the extreme outside, Kayak is making his move, and Don Mike is moving from far back. Length, and Kayak is now fourth and throwing under pressure on the outside. In the stretch, it's Seabiscuit forging to the front. Kayak